Greetings, awesomes. All right, welcome to we're going to talk today about the conversation templates link that I have here. So I brought up the link already here for us to look at. I really want to draw your attention initially, excuse me, and how I want us to kind of under them. You can mess around with some of the other ones, and we'll talk about some of the other ones here in a couple of weeks, but maybe next week. But I really want to talk to you about capturing authorial action. So this is really, now that we've kind of found those scholarly sources, right? And we find that beautiful, wonderful premier quote that we've always wanted. And let's say we're starting to begin to kind of put it into our paper and stuff like that. A lot of times we have a tendency to use some of our standard terms of, so say our author's last name is Smith. Smith states, Smith talks about, Smith says, according to Smith. Well, there's nothing necessarily inherently wrong about those. What we do want to do is to add one way to kind of add richness to our paper and to our discussion is to capture what the author was doing, right? We know that they were talking about it. We know that they said something. We know it's according to them, right? I like to challenge you to think about. Here are some options, right? So we've got this list of things. We call these maybe action verbs in a way, right? We're capturing the action of what the author is doing. Are they acknowledging something? Are they agreeing, right? So a lot of times let's say that we're going to have two authors and they agree with each other. And let's say we quote one and we say Smith claims, right? Because here's one here. Smith claims that climate change, da, 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 right? We talk about that for a second and then we come in and we say, oh, I got a great idea. Kind of bolster, right? Improve my ethos. I'm going to bring in another one, another source that agrees with him, right? And in our mind, we know that we're saying that, but then we still kind of put it in so-and-so talks about, and also so-and-so talks about it as well, right? And we can kind of condense that language a little bit and make it a little bit more powerful by capturing the action of the author. So the first author claims that or argues that, right? So-and-so is arguing. Okay, that boom, then we put in the quote. And then we talk about it for a second. Then we can say, so-and-so author, so we have Jones. So it's Smith and Jones. Okay, so we have Jones. All right, so Jones, she's going to come along. So she's going to say, and by the way, too, Jones agrees that climate change is caused by blah, 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 right? Now we've added some richness to. We've got argues or claims in the first one. We've got one who is agreeing with it instead of just saying that they're both simply just talking about it or that they said something or that they stated something or that it was according to them. I think that helps elevate your writing too. Not only do I like it, I think you'll find all your professors like that. Are they complaining about something? Are they denying something? So that way you can bring in, even if you've got a source that maybe doesn't agree 100%, right? But has a different spin on it that you still want to use, it's okay. They can be denying something, right? You can show that there is agreement and both disagreement because somewhere within that agreement and disagreement, you or your team, right, if you're in a collaborative writing situation, have found something that is really interesting, even within that particular conversation, right? Even though there's agreement and disagreement. All right, so we've got these, he insists, he or she insists, she or he observes, he or she questions, refutes, reminds. I think these are great ways just to add, excuse me, to the richness of your paper. And then you can bring these down even in, I don't like states, right? We can bring that in if we feel that we need to. According to X is, well, not necessarily inherently incorrect, but I like to capture the authorial action. You can still use like X agrees when she writes, X disagrees when he writes, X complicates matter further when he writes. These are just some other ideas. Excuse me. And always remember, after your quotations, explain your quote. That is to say, in other words, in making this comment, she urges us to. Smith is corroborating. Jones's point is that, boom, the essence of, so if we're talking about the climate change example, the essence of Smith's argument is that, boom, furthermore, Jones agrees that, right? You can just see how now you're sounding like a scholar, all right? So feel free, please use these, use them. Stay safe and stay awesome. Bye now.